Good night. Hey, everyone join tonight. God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Michelle Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you some news on tonight. We're gonna start with release Paul Whelan. The news came from CNN. He stated that he is disappointed. That more had not been done to secure his release. You know, I didn't even know, they had another American who was still detained with Russia. So he been in there since 2018. Detained America Paul expressed his frustration. And don't want to be frustrated. What, like 4 years? That more had not been done to secure his release, and as another detained American, Brittany, she was free. You know, and we did everything we can to get her free. But Mr. President Bennett, he get all the credit. He had held free Miss Brittany. Thank God for that. So Paul said he was happy that Brittany was released. All of us was happy that she was released, but told that he is greatly disappointed. That more had not been done to secure his release. It's like, he want everybody to know that he been in there since 4 years, and he wants to be released, especially as the 4 years anniversary of his arrest is coming up. So that's really gonna making him frustrated, because the anniversary since he been in there, is about to come up. So he was arrested for a crime that never occurred. He said it never happened. He said in a phone call from the Penny County, what he is being held in a remote part of Russia. So he don't understand why he's still sitting here. He don't understand why he's still sitting there. Because he said what they accuse him of, it did not occur. Mr. President, he vowed the United States that would never give up on him. The United States officer said that Russia refused to navigate his release. So Paul said he was surprised that he had been left behind. He's surprised that he'd been left behind, and he was led to believe that things were moving in the right direction. So whoever is talking to him led him, that everything gonna be all right. Everything is moving in the direction, of moving forward. So and that the governors, were navigating, and that something will happen fairly, very soon. So he really thought, he was gonna get out. They said everything is coming along. So they had him, thinking that the direction is going in his favor. So Paul, he is a former Marines, and now who is a United States Irish British and a Canadian citizen that was detained at the Marco Hotel in December of 2018 by Russia. Authority who allegedly he was involved in an illegal intelligence operation. So they thought he was in with an operation, thought he was there spying. He was convicted and sentenced in June the 20th of 2020. June of 2020. To 16 years in prison in a trial United States officers denounced as unfair. So they're saying that his case was being unfair. So the United States officer, had dedicated that the Russia refused to release him despite the United States effort in navigation. And Paul said he was told that because the Russia have accused him of being a spy, and they put him at a level higher than anyone else. So um, he's saying, his case. He said they putting it higher than anyone else. Because they take his accused of, they take that serious. Because of someone coming and spying, but Paul said it have not occurred. So Paul said his bags are packed. He said his bags is a pack. You know, all he needs is an airplane to come pick him up. You know, he ready to go home. You know, he hoped that Mr. President and his administration would do everything they could to get him home, regardless of the high price, they might have to pay at this point. He just ready to go. He just ready to go. So Paul said if a message could go out to Mr. President that this is a precaution situation that needs to be resolved quickly, he said. He said he ready to go home. And he just need an airplane to come and pick him up. So Paul only trying to reach out for help. He only trying to reach out for help. 'Cause he been there long enough. He said since 2018, and we at 2022. So Paul said he tried to keep saying by reading lots of books, and I said make sure one of the books be a Bible. Because that would have helped him most of way back then when he first got there. Always make sure if you want to read something, read that Bible. So the Bible is the one gonna reach out to God. You want to reach out to God in prayer. You want to reach out to God and reading that Bible every day while you're in there. You know, so he also read books. He writing letters because they're source of things that coming in for our world that make him remember that our world still exists. You know, so one, I see that Paul had been detained since December of 2018 by Russia. And he's still in there, waiting to be released. Two, United States American Paul have been accused of being a spy, but not been looked into. Because he's saying it has not occurred. You know, he said he has not been a spy. Now three, they put his case level higher than anyone else. So that's why he's still in there, and we had to do everything we can to have him to be released because his case is higher than anyone else. And that's why he in there for so long. Four, I request that this situation be resolved. You know, be resolved because he said they never made a phone call to even look into him to see if he are a real spy. So five, I request that Paul be released soon. He been in there long enough. And I think it's time. It's time for him to be released and come back to United States. Come back to the United States. He's American that been trapped there for a long time. The American that been trapped there for a long time. His case had never been looked into when he said he was not a spy. So I think he done served his time long enough. It's time for him to be released and come back to the United States. You know, so so I also want to talk to you about COVID-19. COVID-19. Which COVID-19 and flu. Flu is going around too. So you don't want to get the flu because they're going to make your immune system drop low, and that's how the COVID will get into your body and just start eating it up. The immune system has to be high. And if you got a flu or cold and all that, it's just going to drop it down. So the COVID-19 and the flu is on the rise. LDH encouraged residents to take precaution ahead of the holiday gathering. This is the holidays. You got Christmas is coming up, and you also, but right behind that you got New Year's. Then right behind that you got Mardi Gras and Easter. She got all these holidays back to back. So LDH want everyone to be cautious, to be careful. I still wear my mask everywhere I go, and and I'm looking around. It's like I'm the only, seem like I'm the only one in the world is wearing a mask everywhere I go. I was just sitting back. Today. I'm like nobody got a mask on. Everybody sitting in a gathering. Everybody be on a bus and train. No one wearing a mask. They never announced that the COVID was over with. Until they announced that the COVID is over with, then I start wearing a mask. Until then, everyone needs to still wear a mask because it's not over with. You got all other stuff that's coming out. You got the flu. You got the monkey. You got all kind of other stuff is coming out, and you're about to start having a second COVID coming out. So you want to still be cautious. You want to still wear your mask. So stay up to date on vaccine and booster. you know, vaccine and booster. Stay updated with that. Even though I had to update mine too. Even though the first time we had to do the testing for the COVID, the vaccine, all that needs to be updated. Did not tell us past 6 months you have to get that done again. We assume when we took that was it. Every 6 months, once a year, you have to still you have to still take get vaccines and booster shot done. To be safe for the holiday season. So LDH, the Louisiana Department of Health, remind the residents to make sure and their loved one are up to date on vaccine and booster shots. Ahead for the holidays gathering. 'Cause the holidays, everyone, the family, everybody gonna be gathering together. So if you don't want to wear the mask, everybody in that group needs to have the vaccine or the booster shot done. That's what LDH is trying to say. So COVID-19 hospitalized, also are on the rise with 7 days average of 245.9 patients hospitalized. So that means the hospital is back piling up again. And it's pretty much in New York and Los Angeles, they say. So it is possible that we are seeing the beginning of another COVID 19, and that's why I was telling y'all just a second. COVID 19 about to come out. So you'll want to still keep your masks intact. Still wear your mask because everywhere I go, I see no one wearing a mask. You know, no one wearing a mask. They did not announce that it was over with. The COVID is still going on until they announce that it's completely over with. And right now, it looks like we're gonna be having this for a while. You know. So I have some tips. One, wear a mask. Continue on wearing your mask. Continue on wearing your mask. And two, keep on washing your hands frequently. And sanitize. I keep sanitizer in my purse when I'm going somewhere on my off days. In my work bag, I keep sanitizer. You sanitize your hand wherever you at. But once you get to some water and you get home, that's the first thing I do. Wash your hands. The sanitizer just helps slow the process, but you still have to wash your hands. So three, stay up to date on your vaccine and booster shots. You have to do that every 6 months or to a year. You want to stay updated with your vaccine and your booster. So folks, stay home if you feel sick. You don't know if it's a cold, or flu, or COVID. You don't know, so you have to stay home and get checked out. They don't want you going to work if you're coughing and sneezing and stuff, because it may be something else, and when you thinking it's just a cold or flu. You know, so this was all in a package of LDH, um, trying to update everything and try to have everyone be aware because of the holidays. That the hospitals, certain states are still arising with COVID patients. So they're just trying to aware, be aware of the COVID is not over with. That the hospitals in certain states are still overflowing with COVID patients. So we talk about Paul Whitney. You know, um, needs to be released. He been in there long enough. He been in there since 2018, and this is 2022. So they basing his case higher than anyone else. They said he was accused of being a spy. And he been detained ever since. But we all, we all gonna keep on trying to press our way through to try to have him released. It's about time for him to go back to the United States to his own family. We all pray and fight for Brittany to be released, and thank God she been released. I've been trying, and we see that Mr. President Bennett came through. So we thank God that Brittany is released, and I'm gonna keep pressing my way for Paul to be released also very soon, so he can catch that plane because his bags is already packed. He ready to catch that plane, and he needs to be home with his family in the United States. So we just talk about the COVID. The LDA is we warning everyone that the hospitals are still overflowing with COVID patients. So everyone needs to still wear their masks, and I just read out the tips. Keep on washing your hands. If you're not near water, keep some sanitizer in your purse, your work bag, or whatever the case is. Keep sanitizer. I sanitize my hand all day long. And when I get to some water, as soon as I come home, that's the first thing I do, wash my hands. Because you're out there touching everything. So you want to keep on doing the same thing that you've been doing when we first got to COVID, because it's still active. So that's all the show news I have for you on today, and I see you on the next video. Y'all have a blessed night and be safe.